Hello and welcome to this APA tutorial that explains how to set up the references page for the Spring 2022 English 101 Unit 1 personal essay. So we're starting on the same page that we just used for the APA title page. If you watched that video, this will be the next step. I'm going to just skip down to the very next page, and we're going to pretend that this is the last page of our paper. So your actual essay will go in these middle pages, and the first page will be the title page, and the last page will be the references page. So the first thing to do is go back to centering like we did for the title page, and we're going to put the word references at the top of the page centered. We do want to make sure that we're using the same font that we've used all the way throughout the essay. So the next thing to do then is to come down, take off the centering function so that we're left aligned with our left margin, and we're going to start putting in the information from our source. The article that we've read for this particular personal essay this semester is called Struggle for Smarts: How Eastern and Western Cultures Tackle Learning. So we're going to use the information from this article in order to complete our APA references page. There is an APA guide posted in the course, and I'm going to include the link in the video description on YouTube as well so that you can access it. This APA guide color codes all the information that you need, shows you what a standard example looks like, and walks you through all of the formatting requirements. So it tells you exactly how to abbreviate, what things to capitalize, what gets italicized, and what doesn't. In this particular video, I'm not going to go through all of these rules. I'm just going to show you how to do the references page for this particular article, for this particular assignment, and you can follow along and set yours up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to include the author's name, last name, comma, first initial, period. So on the article, the author's name is Alex Spiegel. So we're going to include Spiegel. Is it E-L? Yes. Comma, A, period. The next item is the date. So we're going to find the date on the article, November 12th, 2012. So we're going to include that in kind of a backwards format. We start with the year, then comma, and then the rest. This is what I get for trying to type and talk at the same time. We always close the date into parentheses, and then we put a period afterwards. That ends the date entry. The next thing is the title. Since this is a longer title, I'm going to try copying it in. So I'm going to copy the title. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to paste without formatting because I want my font and formatting to match what's on my document. But we're not done yet, because if we take a look at the APA guide, you will see that the article title uses a very specific kind of casing or capitalization rule. It's important to remember that. So we don't need to capitalize all of the words of this. We're only going to capitalize the first word and the first word of any subtitles or any proper nouns or adjectives, of which there aren't any in this particular title. So I'm just capitalizing the first word of the main title and the first word of the subtitle, and then I'm going to end with a period. The next item that I need, we're moving on this APA guide away from this first standard example because this is not a periodical, so none of this information is available. We're actually using, it's not a web page, it is a standard example with standard example, no DOI, retrieved from an online search. So this is actually the example that's going to best match the one that we're doing right now. So the next thing that we need to include is the source. In this particular case, the source is NPR. And if we take a look back at the guide, you'll see that in this case, the title is in italics and the source is not in italics. That tells us that this came from an online search, that we found the article online, versus this example up here, which is formatted the opposite way, which tells us that it was retrieved from a database. So ours was an online search, so we need to italicize the title, not the source name. And then the last piece that we need is the URL, which is basically the web address for the article. So we're just going to copy the whole web address. We're going to paste it in at the end of our entry. So it looks a little bit funny. The spacing is off, but that's exactly where you should be right now. We don't want to put in any kind of manual spacing because we still have to set up a hanging indent. For this for this essay, you only have one source, so we don't have to worry about putting in additional sources and putting them in alphabetical order. We're only using this article, so it's easy. We don't have to worry about alphabetizing, we just have to put it in a hanging indent. We're going to do that by highlighting the entire entry. We're going to come up here to Format, Align and Indent. We're going to choose Indentation Options. And just a note here, all of these functions are also available in Word. You just may have to look in a different place to find them. You can certainly do a quick Google search or a YouTube video. I know that there are tons of them out there. Indentation Options, Hanging. Make sure that this is set to 0.5, half an inch. And then this is what our reference entry should look like. So yours should look exactly like this. Every capital letter, every period, every space, every piece of punctuation. Your references page for this semester, for this essay, should look exactly like this one. In a minute, I'm going to start a new video about how to do embedded citations based on this source, so be sure to take a look at that video next.